What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the blue color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Nullus. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Oranos. His name is Kimo. Game number one. I may or may not have done these out of order, but don't let that confuse you about anything. This is game number one. Alrighty, game number one. Kimo, Oranos, Nullus, Poseidon, map, small waters in the middle. I love this map. I think this map is really, really interesting. We've got the small ponds in the middle. You get the water on the sides of the map. So there's a lot of potential here for strategy. We do see a dock down here in the middle of the map here for Kimo. He finds himself the 6 fish spawn here, which I think is arguably the best case scenario for Atlantean on this map. Why? Because Oranos can do a really, really nice 4:30 advance time, no problems with this sort of a dock, right? You get yourself 6 fishing ships, you get yourself your temple, the next wood goes into another dock somewhere on the map, you're scouting out the entire map with your oracles, you're going to be able to see that there's water on the sides of the map or not with said oracles, should be completely fine where that's concerned. You should be able to make a decision based on that later. Plus, going up earlier means you can control this water on the side of the map here. That being said, Greek has got a really, really good time here as well, right? We do see Nullus sending his villager over to the right side of the map already to drop himself down a second dock. He's already fished out this place. He picked the wrong small water spot here. Honestly, I don't think it matters that much, the difference between getting out a fishing ship like a couple of seconds earlier or not versus like getting this dock up on this side. Like if he... Let me try and rephrase that. If he got this dock up here, he'd be getting these 6 fish out, which means this dock down the bottom gets up later. But having this dock down earlier means more of these fishing locations are going to go the wayside of Nullus here earlier, which means that if Kimo does decide to send himself a villager over to get the dock up there, chances are there's not going to be a whole lot of spots left on this spot to grab. So there's good things and there's bad things for this opening here. As opposed to, say, Kimo not having this position in the middle and having a bit of a trouble where that's concerned, as we see another dock actually coming down already for Nullus on this position here. He's going to be attempting to cause some grief for Kimo in the early stages of this game. If we take a look at Kimo's perspective, he does actually see the water. He sees the water over here for one. He also sees the water up here, but he doesn't know what Nullus is doing just yet. Nullus, on the other hand, he's scouted out both sides. He also doesn't 100% know if there's any docks up on this side of the map just yet, which could be a thing that's coming in. He doesn't know just yet, though. So we will have to wait and see. Kimo at this point should be looking to be getting his final villager out here, eating cows, finishing up what looks to be the final gazelle here. Temple going to be coming down with time to spare here. So this all looks fine for Kimo, but he does need to be thinking about sending that villager forward. Whether he goes onto this position, whether he goes up to this position, that remains to be seen. I do think that these sorts of maps do lend themselves more to kind of semi-water, semi-land sort of strategies, as Kimo's citizen just about to pop out and he will be advancing. He has a little bit of idle time. Not exactly sure what happened there. There is a little bit of a trick when it comes to hunting versus herdables. Take a look at the citizen. There is a very small difference in gather rate between hunting and herdables, but the walking time at the start, if you do decide to walk over and eat a boar, eat a deer or something like that, the walking time, the shooting time of the arrows, it actually ends up being a little bit more efficient to send the first villager onto a cow and then ensure that your villagers are coming through with good force dropping time and see how he goes. That's not the dog. This dock here has only got 3 fish. Kimo might not know that it's only got 3 fish, but he has to know that the top sides of these maps at this point have got tons of fish on them. That's always going to happen. Basically this spawn here, it's always going to get around about somewhere between 18 to 20 something, 20 plus fish on it, this spawn. As you do see, the dock for Kimo has come down on the bottom, actually. I take it back. This is fine. He's got this spot over here. He's going to be able to put pressure on. We see areas coming through for Nullus as well. Kimo's got the advantage on the advance time thus far. But yeah, this dock here is not the one, I don't think. I would have loved to see him come up to the top here and drop a dock. There is a wood line over here he can jump onto, eat the line, whatever he feels like. As the Oracle getting taken out on this position, as the Promethean going to be moving across. We do see a military barracks coming down already. Kimo has already started the Bareem production to harass Nullus's fishing ships on this position. There's only one dock down here. Nullus has got 2 docks on this position for the time being and still building fishing ships. He's actually, looks like he cut them there. So he's going to be building some trireme out here, most likely to try and defend on this position. And I think that this is what Kimo needs to do. He needs to kind of force Nullus to overcommit onto this water while pushing up and grabbing this water himself and securing it by sending some Murmillo over onto that position. We do see the Pestilence is out. Already a handful of Bareems are out here as the triremes are started for Nullus. Kimo's Bareem here sitting a little bit idle there as the villager is going to be making its way up to the top side of the map. So Kimo's plan is in, and I like this. He's got a lot of wood in the bank to spend on fishing ships. He can be building himself Murmillo, which he indeed is doing. The lone Bareem did get taken out. Nullus here has cut ships for the time being. He's got 4 triremes out. The Cyclops is going to come in here and get a lot of damage done onto this dock, as this lone fishing ship going to get pushed off of that location with the citizen coming down to drop a dock. I like this dock location over here. I think one thing that maybe a little bit less known is that the dock actually has a fair amount of line of sight. I believe it's 22 line of sight compared to 9 line of sight of like a military building or a temple or something like that. So you get quite a lot of information from this dock. If we take a quick look at it here, boom, you get a lot of line of sight where that's concerned around. So if you can get another dock there, that can be really, really nice. As we do see a lot of Bareems coming out on this position here. Maybe a few too many from Kimo, as it looks like Nullus really hasn't done a whole lot over here. I'm not sure. I must have missed what was going on. Maybe Nullus had built a couple of fishing ships out here, but Nullus is definitely in front on this fishing ship count. And while, I mean, I think it's obvious. If the dock had come up over here, there would have been more spots for Kimo already. But he is putting a dock up on this location to grab these positions. So that's going to be good for him. Though he is up against Poseidon. Poseidon does have some advantages moving into the later stages of this game against Oranos. But on water, kind of anything seems to be able to happen. Like a lot of the weird balance things that we kind of know from land matchups, they tend to go out the window when it comes onto water matchups for whatever reason. Like people don't wall as hard, people don't defend as well on the land because there's so much stuff going on. There's lots of different things that go into it, but we will be seeing this dock getting cleaned up. Kimo probably should be trying not to lose so many of these Bareems, as we do see this Cyclops coming in. Looks like Kimo wants to grab himself a talent center here as well, but the army is already coming through for Nullus on this position. So I think a town center is a little bit out of the question here for Kimo at this point. Still only the 1 military barracks. There's an economic guild coming down. Another military barracks coming in. Population-wise, Nullus is way, way, way in front of Kimo at this point. So any sort of dream of getting a town center is not going to be coming in anytime soon. There's a couple more Murmillo going to be coming through here. Kimo will have access to a Valor here relatively shortly. So we'll see if he can defend on this position, or is that citizen getting pushed around per scene. Now coming through for Nullus with 21 fishing ships. That's a lot of fishing ships, ladies and gentlemen. His economy is going to be pumping here as that fishing ship does end up falling. Docks up here, still getting some more fishing spots up on that location there. Nullus hasn't sent anything up there just yet, but I do think that the ball, generally more so than not, is in the court of the Oranos player to make things happen here, and Nullus is going to be more than happy just going 50-50 on the water, even though it's slightly more than 50-50 for Kimo. He still doesn't have all of his fishing ships out. He's getting more out as the game's going on. Going to have a big economy nonetheless, as the Citizen going to be bailing on this position. More military buildings coming up here for Kimo. I wonder if he's going to be trying to get this town center while this is all going on. Medium infantry coming in. How are the economic upgrades going? Still no upgrades. I would love to see hand axe, pickaxe coming through. Those upgrades might not seem like a big deal, but over the course of the game, the earlier you get it, the more that it matters. I actually did some math on this as the fight is ensuing, and Nullus has got a much stronger army here than Kimo. Kimo definitely shouldn't be fighting just yet, but basically, if you've got a handful of like 5 villages on wood, it becomes something in the vicinity of, if you have hand axe versus not have hand axe, something in the vicinity of somewhere between 600 to 1,000 wood over the course of a game, over the course of 10 minutes, basically, depending on how many citizens, but about 5 to 7 on wood over that portion of the game. Really, really important to get those upgrades in nice and early, especially with Atlantean. I think the boost is even more with Atlantean because it's like a straight 10%. Doesn't give yourself any of the like carry capacity, but it doesn't have any overgather problems that come in with some of the other economic upgrades. As we do see Kimo coming in, trying to fight this one off. He's getting closer up to that pop cap. Does he have a shockwave involved here? He doesn't have a shockwave at the moment, but Terma here, a little bit of micro, might be able to take these out. Does he have some idle? He does have an idle Bareme here, but if you can bring some of those units over here, that's going to be really good for him. But these hoplites are doing mightily well on this position for the time being. And not only that, Nullus is ready to head to the heroic age. He's got the resources coming in. He's got the gold. He's got the food. He's going to be able to click that one up while winning this fight, as Kimo is just not able to hold on here at all. Nullus's way through this game has been impeccable, to say the least, to start this one off, as the hoplites falling here, but Nullus still full population immediately up through Aphrodite here. Kimo 18 fishing ships to 24 of Nullus, and I think this is the story here. Is just that basically Nullus has just got more economy than Kimo does, and with a Greek player having more economy than an Atlantean player, that's a tough position to be in for the Atlantean, as Kimo pushing out of his base a little bit here. Those Terma need a micro a little bit better, targeting down hoplites. Not really what they want to be doing. They're only getting like 4.4 damage a second onto those Toxotes. So sniping those, onto those hoplites. So sniping down the Toxotes, they do a lot more damage if they're attacking the right unit where that's concerned. Still no town centers up for Kimo. Still no advance time coming through. Does he have Persine? He does have Persine, so he should be getting a lot more food here in than one would expect. He does have a lot of citizen here at the moment as well. Compared to what Nullus has got, it looks like Kimo's quite a bit in front in terms of citizen count. And there's the Aphrodite, there's the curse, and Kimo says, oh, not really going to be able to play that one out from that position, unfortunately, there. And Nullus cleans up a quick first win. I just looked over and realized the scoreboard's not there, but maybe we could do some post editing magic there and add that one in. But well played by Nullus here. This game here, I think this game here just goes to show how important the understanding of what you're supposed to do on the water is. Kimo here, I think the one mistake that Kimo made in the early game, which really set Kimo up to fail, was the dock on this location here. Nullus didn't put a dock down on the middle water for quite some time here. He actually went all onto this bottom side. He got this side and then he went all onto the bottom side. If Kimo would put the dock down over here and put the dock down over here and just fished this location up while the Pestilence went onto this position, while the Bareems were coming out, the Triremes were coming out, while that all was going on, then Kimo would find himself with a similar amount of fishing ships to Nullus. He would have that 24 fishing ships or whatever. He would have had them earlier, which means more economy, which means he's going to be able to be on the aggressive side in this matchup starting off the game rather than on the defensive side, which if you're defending against a Poseidon or a Greek in general, as Oranos, chances are life is going to be a little bit challenging for you. But if you did enjoy this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.